Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my New Year's set. I am starting off with my nails already prepped. I'm super excited because I get to use some of my new Black Friday purchases. So I am starting off with the Young Nails Protein Bond. This is their 1/2 ounce size and I'm just applying that to all of my nails. On my previous set I had some colored acrylic on my middle 3 nails, so I just fully removed those so I can start fresh, and I basically am just going to do a fill on my thumb and my pinky since I am covering the ombre with the iGel polish, so I'm not too worried about what colored acrylic I have underneath there. So to start off, I am using a rubber base gel, and this one is by Lisette Gel Nails, and I'm doing one thin layer on all of the nails. When I do a fill, I still use the rubber base gel if I'm going in with one, and I just focus it primarily on the natural nail, although I do blend it slightly over top of the existing acrylic. You just don't have to go all the way to the free edge of the nail with the rubber base. It's just not necessary. So just so you know, if you are doing this, just apply it mainly to the natural nail area if you're using it on a fill. But I'm going to apply that to all the nails and then cure it for a full 60 seconds. For the fill areas and as my base nude, I am using Not Polish OG 102 Nude Panther, and this I am going to be first applying on the thumb and the pinky to do my fill just like normal, and then I'm taking my Young Nails Core Natural and I'm using this to build the bridge between my natural nail and the form. Today I'm using my Young Nails short forms, and in case you're curious, I am using my Kiara Sky Kolinsky brush in the size 12. For my colored acrylic today, I am super excited. This came in the Young Nails mystery box, the acrylic version, and it is called Sapphire Serenity. It's one of their new colored acrylics, and I am applying this as my base color and on my free edge, and I am doing an ombre, so I am focusing most of the color towards the tip, and then I'm gonna blend it and kind of thin it out as it gets closer to my natural nail. Once I have it the way that I want, I'm going to go in with that same Nude Panther shade and I'm going to start ombreing that color over top. You really want to try to make sure you're thinning out that area when you're applying the blue shade, because the thicker it is, the harder it's going to be to cover with the nude. And you want to make sure you have a very nice blend with your ombre, so try to keep your layers thin as you go in with each color. Once all that is done, I'm going in with Stellar Silver and Silent Type. These are two new glitters by Young Nails, and I'm taking a little bit of clear acrylic. This one is by Not Polish, and I am just going to go ahead and do a thin layer of that clear acrylic to kind of act as a glue for the glitter, and then I'm going to dip into both of those two glitter shades and apply them as I normally would. When I'm doing an ombre that has glitter, I actually prefer to apply the ombre first and then go in with the glitter. I just feel like it gives you a smoother application. I have seen some people apply the glitter first and then go in with like a clear acrylic to make it all smooth and then ombre. For me, I feel like that might just make things a little bit thick. I will try it in the future to see how I like it, but I prefer to keep my nails as thin as possible in my application so that I don't have to file as much. So I just kind of prefer to do it this way when I can. So I am just placing all of that where I like it, and once I have it in the general areas that I want, I go in with a clear, same one, and I encapsulate the entire nail. So I basically just build up my apex and make sure that I am encapsulating all of that glitter and mylar pieces so that they are protected when I go in with my file. I'm moving on to my ring finger next. Don't really know why, I just decided to. And I'm doing the same method that I did for the other hand and that I do for any sculpted set. I just build my free edge a little bit with a clear or kind of like a milky clear color, so that Core Natural by Young Nails. And for this, I'm gonna do an entire nail of the Sapphire Serenity shade. So I am building out my free edge, and then I'm just going to build this back towards my cuticle, trying to keep the application as thin as possible. You don't want to end up filing out the color, and this does have some very fine shimmer glitters in it, so you don't want to file those out either. So just try to keep the colored acrylic portion as thin as you can, and worry about building your strength and your apex with your clear. It's just going to be the easiest way to do it. And also, if you're working like in salon, colored acrylics tend to be a little bit more expensive than clears or nudes, so it will help you save a little bit of money on your product if you're not building such thick layers of the colored acrylic. So I'm pretty much, once that is fully applied, going in with my clear and then just encapsulating and really building up that apex, making sure I have enough strength. You do want to try to apply the clear a little bit more on the wet side when you're encapsulating. The main reason is that the drier the clear is, the more chance you have of bubbling or cloudiness. So I tend to go a little bit on the wetter side to try to make sure that it is as clear and bubble free as possible. For my middle nail, I'm gonna pretty much do the same application as I did on my pointer finger. So starting off with that clear base, building that out just to give me a little bit of structure and make it easier when I change out my sets. And then go in with that blue shade, build up your free edge, blend it back towards your natural nail to kind of start your ombre over my nude, and then go in with my glitter and encapsulate it. So pretty simple and straightforward. I try to keep, again, the layers as thin as possible so that I don't risk filing anything out when I go in to do my shaping and everything. Another quick tip when you're doing your ombre, try to make sure that you are pulling only from the front of the bead. So you'll see that once I apply the bead, sometimes I will let it kind of drop down, like I will point my finger towards my desk, just so that it starts to flow downwards in the direction that I would normally pull it with my brush. But typically when you go to pull it with your brush, you tend to thin out the pigment, and I don't want that, since I want the look to kind of cover that blue and kind of create a more smooth transition. So really just pull from the front of the bead, and that's why I also go in with smaller beads, so I can start building it up and I don't have to worry about chasing a larger bead around my nail and worrying about it getting everywhere or spilling, getting into the cuticle area. I can really control the bead a lot better when I go a little bit on the smaller side. One more thing when you're encapsulating, as you can see, I do add a little bit more clear acrylic on top, especially when I'm using chunkier glitters. I want to make sure that it is very adhered to the nail before I go in and encapsulate, so that I don't start moving all of those pieces when I'm encapsulating. You also, depending on how fast or slow your acrylic sets, you just want to make sure that you give it enough time to really set in place so you're not accidentally moving those glitter and mylar pieces as you're encapsulating the nail, because you're going to end up changing the look of it. And especially when you're using chunkier glitters, the placement really does matter. You don't want it to be sticking out funky or be too close to the sidewalls or free edge of the nail where you could accidentally file it out. So you just want to make sure that you give that clear acrylic base enough time to dry before you go in with another layer. Once all that's done, I go ahead and I file my nails, and now I am going in with a black gel polish. This one is by iGel Beauty and it is at Midnight, and I am applying 2 layers of this to my thumb and my pinky. I wanted to do, like I said, a New Year's kind of darker theme, so I figured the black would really kind of tie it in. So I am doing a full black nail on both of those, and I am keeping them glossy, so I will go over it with a glossy top coat. For my ring finger, I'm going in with a jewel from Young Nails from one of their kits that came in their gel mystery box, and I am using their tip and gel glue, and I am taking a little bit of that and I'm just applying that with a little spatula because it is a thicker gel and it's really not going to move on you. So I'm just applying that to the back of that charm, and then I'm just going to stick it on my nail wherever I like and I want it to be, and I can kind of move it slightly if I don't like where I place it at first. And once I have it where I want it, I will do a 30 to 60 second cure to hold it in place. Now I'm going to switch over to my Rhinestone glue from Makartt, just because I feel like this one's a little easier to use on smaller crystals since it's not as thick, so it's easier for me to apply with a brush. So I am using a striping brush by Young Nails, and I am applying a line down the center of the nail coming from that larger gem, and I am just applying a couple small circular gems in a line, just going down it. I do the same thing on the top, although I only do 2 on the top, and on the bottom I have 4. I just like the way that it looked and I thought it was really cute, and obviously I didn't want to try to cram too much close to my cuticle area, so I felt like it was better kind of leaving it a little off balance. So that is how I apply the gems. I'm just using a little wax pencil. Once I have it where I want it, I do go ahead and flash cure it to make sure that it doesn't move before I go in with the gem gel on the top portion of the nail. That way I don't accidentally hit the gems and kind of move them around and have them go places I don't want them to be. Make sure you're flash curing in between if you like the placement of your gems. Once all the gems are placed and I have flash cured them so that they don't move, I am going in with my not polished Gloss-It gel top coat, and I'm applying that onto the base of my ring finger as well as over top of that large gem. I did accidentally get some nail glue on it earlier, so it does look a little cloudy and I was just not happy with how it was looking, so I decided to go over it with the top coat. Typically, you don't want to do this because in some cases it can make the reflect of the gem just not as shiny. I didn't notice it being a huge issue in this case, but some people do note that that happens, and I have noted it with other gem applications that I've done. So just be mindful of that. But in this case, I actually felt like it did help me bring back the luminescence of the gem because it started turning cloudy from that nail glue. And then once I'm done with that, I am going in and applying some gems to my cuticle area on my middle and my pointer finger. I decided to do this a little late. I had started applying the Gloss-It top coat first, but what I did was I just didn't pull it all the way back to the cuticle area. I then went in with that Rhinestone glue, applied my gems, and then just finished off my top coat as normal. You just don't want to top coat first before applying the gem glue because it can affect the adhesion and you can have the gems pop off. So just be mindful of that. When I apply it to my pointer finger like I am right now, this is how you would typically want to apply it so that you make sure there is no risk of ruining the adhesion and then having, you know, your stones pop off. But if you are in a pinch or you forget like I do, you can actually do it after, as long as you don't apply the top coat to that area first. If you do, just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol or acetone and then start over. It's no big deal as long as you haven't cured it. If you do cure it, a tip for you is you can just go in with a little buffer and just buff over the area you want to apply the gems to, and that'll create enough of a rough surface for you to apply the gems and not worry about adhesion. So a couple different ways you could do it. Other than that, that is pretty much it for this set. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you picked up anything for Black Friday, whether it was nail stuff, home stuff, or something else, let me know down below what your favorite thing was. If you didn't pick anything up, let me know what your favorite thing from this holiday season so far is, because I'm very interested to hear that. Comment below letting me know what you guys thought of this set. Like this video if you did like it and want to see more of it from me, and subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot. I'm hoping to hit 1,000 subscribers. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody.